Good gracious, the skies have parted, and AJ Styles stands atop the mountain.
You're skipping ahead, man.
We are 5Alive. I am Bobby T.
I'm Martin.
And I'm Chrisa.
And I'm skipping ahead.
God damn it.
A lot of amazing stuff happened.
It's been
We are very pumped right now.
Insane week for wrestling.
I'm not.
I'm
kind of pumped.
From our last live show, it has been an insane.
It's really been a huge jump from. All right, let's check if we had audio here real quick. We do, and actually I have OSW. I have OSW review playing in the
fattest man alive.
It's what I've.
I was about to say, what crowd is cheering for us?
Yeah, there is no crowd cheering for us.
So dumb.
Yes, Mr. Achiever. Actually, the first person to comment on our chat here is the person who won Cuphead.
Oh,
when
good for him.
Congratulations!
Yes.
So yeah, everyone, if you could like, share,
that was an
and
awesome idea by me. I'm just saying.
True.
So if you could like, share, and subscribe, we do tons of giveaways. And,
you do all the editing.
It's true. Martin's the idea man. I do all. Dude, I was the one that figured out how to get the mic to work properly with the setup here.
Gotcha.
And then Bobby just sits here. He has a computer. Yeah.
That's what I did.
Exactly.
It's just me.
He just makes sure that there's sound.
That's all I do.
And he doesn't even do a good job at that with all the technical difficulties.
So many technical difficulties.
So speaking of technical difficulties, on November 27th, we're going to be headed to Front Porch Brewery. They're going to be making a beer for us.
Yes.
We don't know exactly what kind of beer it is yet. We're going to discover that when we go.
Is it alcoholic?
It will be.
Then I will enjoy it.
So
I only drink non-alcoholic beer.
Will it help me to forget my troubles?
Ginger ales by Polar Sodas. Please, Polar, buy a soda.
I drink nameless water. Nameless water.
We are going to be
like
we're going to be going there to actually brew the beer with them and go through that whole process. We'll be shooting that. Then a week later,
we toss dogs into the beer mix.
You're going to be an extra dog.
Red chick beer.
So we're going to be doing a poll for the name.
Yes.
Of what we'd like to call this. So we have a few in mind. We're going to throw those up in a poll. Then they said they'll do whatever we say, whatever it is.
Now, are you planning on a couple beard clippings?
There will be, as we just discussed. There's beard hairs on everything in here, and may have to flake a few to the beard
hairs.
Yeah,
it's how he gets his power by
spreading
them. Yeah, spreading it out.
It's like pylons in StarCraft.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just putting them out there to extend it.
Additional beard hairs.
So,
fantastic.
So the following Wednesday, when we do our live show, it'll be I think 8 or 9 days later. Our beer will be ready to drink.
Oh, awesome.
And we're going to be drinking it at Front Porch and doing our live wrestling show from their tap room.
Sweet.
Well, that is awesome to hear. This is the first time hearing of this. Hopefully these guys are nice guys and not Nazis or something.
What's actually pretty awesome is
even if they are, we have to go along with them at this point. Like,
they have, we're kind of screwed. We signed the paperwork.
We're just gonna have to put Bobby T in white face.
Dude, I'm Irish. They hate me
man.
I'm the only one that's going to be loud. I'm
going to look like one of the Wayans brothers. But like, I'm not shaving off the beard, so it's going to be rad. Now, they actually have the Neo Geo that was in the arcade at Front Porch, and then they also have a Lethal Enforcers machine.
Oh, nice.
So I think we're going to have to play some Lethal Enforcers.
So
stay tuned to that. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow us at 5LiveVP on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also did get our Patreon up.
Yes.
So it is patreon.com/5AliveVP. There's a few different tiers there for different reviews, game time.
Yeah, we got game time, you said. I think there's a video of me sleeping that's available.
Yes, that's going to be one of our first available things. Is we have video of Chrisa sound asleep. And we're going, Chrisa, wake up.
Like a baby.
Yeah.
You were out cold.
Dude, I was tired, man.
So another announcement for Saturday night. We're going to have another game giveaway.
Yes.
This one will be for the PS4?
Yes.
And what do we have?
It's going to be Call of Duty World War II.
What?
Yeah.
That is a $60 game.
I know.
It just came out last week.
Real?
See what I do for our fans? Yeah.
That is awesome. So if anybody, I'm going to start putting out some ads and the hashtags and whatnot's going. But we're going to do it live, just like we did here.
Chris's #1 fan. COD World War II. That's what it is. If you guys prove to me that you are my #1 fan, you get a free game.
That is the longest. We're gonna have to set up a hashtag to explain that hashtag.
Hashtag Chris really is into himself right now, and he's
hashtag feeling himself.
That's right.
So
I mean, I do all the work on the show.
You do 100% of it.
And I come up with all the ideas.
Where were we on that one, dipshit?
All right, guys. So let's slide into wrestling.
Now that we're in the proper mood.
Yeah.
Now that we're going, we did have to throw. We got the WWE title right there in the middle. Oh, thank you.
Now it is being held by a person who deserves to hold it. Not some
champion.
sort of steroided out freak or somebody who's trying to help the WWE network push into new territory. I mean, frankly, I can't wait until they try and get the WWE network into, I don't know, Bulgaria, because then Rusev will be your champion, I'm assuming.
Well, what's funny is right now on Twitter, Jinder Mahal is defending himself, saying...
oh, yes, that's my favorite part.
I may have to find the tweet, so in the middle, I'll look it up. But he's saying, no wellness violation, no failed experiment, no this, just AJ Styles was better on this night.
It was better every night. Everyone's like, oh, it's Jinder's best match. It's like, yes, because AJ Styles...
Because he did it against AJ Styles.
That's the thing. It was his best match because he throws AJ... No one bumps for anyone like AJ Styles. He could give anyone their best match. All right, we'll get to it.
Yeah,
so let's start
skipping ahead.
Let's ball-toe this. Ball-toe.
All right, we are going to start up Raw. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, so we open up with The Miz. He comes out with the Miz Taraj. Axel's there with the neck brace.
Love the neck brace, dude.
Real quick, I once again watched the super abridged Hulu version, which is crap.
All right, I watched the regular air version, which I forgot. I said I'd watched the SmackDown Hulu version and thought I had watched
SmackDown's fine on Hulu. It's the full 2 hours. Raw is cut to an hour and a half, and they cut out. And in watching the Hulu version of Raw, I can totally understand why people don't get behind certain things, because if you just watch Hulu version, you're not aware of them.
It's the Reader's Digest version.
You're not aware of the Gold Dust R-Truth stuff because it's just not on there. So I totally get how some people are like, oh, I don't understand why they're pushing this guy. It's like, well, they've been pushing him for 6 months. You just haven't seen it.
That's pretty weird though, because you'd think that if they were pushing them, they would not cut their. Yeah, that's so weird.
So
it's kind of like a non-push.
Exactly.
Push?
Yeah, it's a backwards push.
And I totally get why people are like, oh, the cruiserweights suck, and they've come out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, because they got cut out. They got cut off the Hulu version of this one.
That's so weird.
So the Miz and the Miz Taraj are there. He starts talking about his match with Baron Corbin, and he's playing the face in this feud. He really is. He comes out and he's talking about how he told Corbin, "Don't threaten my wife," and then Corbin comes out and threatens his wife and his unborn daughter.
Going back and forth on Twitter, actually, I didn't get to talk about it last week. I really liked it because Miz does break that line between... He dances on the kayfabe line. Yeah.
And so, Corbin, I don't think, knows what kayfabe is.
No.
Maybe he thinks it's something for his hair, you know?
It's what he's been putting in his hair is why it's all going away. So, I can't wait until a hair match, he loses it and he's got to shave his head. It's going to happen.
What would the point be?
Yeah.
He's already losing.
You know what? Maybe it'll help him get over it.
I want Stone Cold to just walk up to him and say, "Brother, give it up."
Yeah.
It's gone.
Exactly.
Just
let me show you a picture of me as a Hollywood blonde. Give it up.
Exactly.
So one thing I like about The Miz that he said in this was that he's working to make the title better, and the U.S. title is there to make the wrestler better, and it's there to only elevate Baron Corbin, and he does nothing for it. So just really crazy that, again, that line where it's
and here's the thing.
He's saying things that are being said in the real world.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Miz is the better all-around person. Corbin might be athletically better, but Miz is the harder worker and so much better on the mic and so much more charismatic. And it's kind of crazy that they put them... I mean, I get it's champion versus champion, but it's kind of crazy that WWE would put Baron Corbin into a feud that will expose so many of his flaws. But whatever. So that was the first little part. Then Kurt came out, and they get into an argument, and basically Miz points out all of the things that Kurt's done wrong lately.
Yeah. He's the Miz and he's awesome.
Yeah, allowing SmackDown to show up and and all this other stuff, and then Kurt is like, you know what? I'm tired of it. You've got Braun tonight.
Yeah. I love. One thing you're actually skipping over is when Miz gives him the. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. He's like, "Put your hand down."
Yeah, exactly. And then
that was a moment where, again, where was that line where I think Kurt was probably okay with it when they said it, and then it happened. He's like, "Wait a minute, no."
I think honestly, no. And this is Miz is a cowardly heel.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this bit too, because he talks all this trash and he's like, I'm the cock of the walk and peacocking around and everything like that. But then as soon as someone asserts their authority, he's got the face, and then he's all nervous and he's scared and everything like that.
Which he goes from Biff to George McFly really fast, and he even has the hair that flops over.
And the proof that he's the cock of nothing.
It's awesome. He's so good at it.
Then next thing was Titus.
That was the only part of Raw I caught. After that, I fell asleep.
It's understandable.
It was hard the first time around. I had to watch it all today, so I was like...
Titus Brand shows up. Titus and comes out, and he's going to take on Joe to make up for Joe killing,
murdering Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews is a zombie.
The reanimated corpse of Apollo Crews came down the walkway. His pecs bobbing around.
Exactly. It was Halloween a
giant
couple days
smile.
ago. So,
And then Joe kicks the living crap out of Titus.
Destroys him.
And then he basically says to the locker room, he's like, what else do you have? Because these two chumps are dead.
I murdered them on the walkway. Can you give me somebody else?
And Finn comes out. Nice. And the crowd erupts.
Yeah, this was a jaw-dropper week.
And with my new revelation, realizing that, hey, not everyone watches NXT, I am 100% behind this repeat of something I've seen a million times before.
And you'll see it a million more, and you're fine.
Totally
it's just like Joe versus AJ.
Yeah,
you'll keep watching it. It's fine.
So, and the match is... Angle comes out. So the match is ridiculous. It's so good. They're throwing themselves at each other, and then they spill out to the outside, and they get counted out because they're just so focused on beating the shit out of each other. And they can't keep them apart. The security comes out, refs come out, they're holding them back, and Angle comes out and says, I want you both on my team. You guys have the fire that I'm looking for on my team. So that makes the team Braun, Kurt, and these two. Which means the Shield's not on it.
Immediately when I saw this, I went, hold on, wait a second. Let me do some quick math here.
The Shield's not on it, which also means, the Bar's not on it.
Yeah.
So who the hell...
and then they go, the Bar and the Shield are fighting tonight, and you go, hold on a second.
Yeah, the Bar and the Shield have a title match tonight, so it's kind of weird.
Well, aren't the tag champions squaring off against each other at Survivor
Series?
So that's only one tag team. That the Bar or the Shield are the tag team champions. So what's the other tag team doing? It's kind of weird. Anyways,
they're doing nothing, obviously.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. So, anyways, so they're separating them. They've got him up. They're taking Finn out through gorilla position. They're taking Joe around the stage, and Finn breaks away and throws himself off the stage.
That was awesome.
And he
beautiful,
connects.
like he did the full arm out. He looked like a superhero.
He did. It honestly, I think AJ might be able to sue him. Like,
For real, he came down like it was a phenomenal forum.
That was the other thing I forgot to mention in the fight between AJ and Finn. Finn does his amazing suicide dive, which I love. He actually lands on Joe's back. Like, he jumps over the top, in his tuck, lands on Joe's back, and Joe takes the brunt of it.
Wow.
And Finn landed on his feet, but was still, like, you could tell, hurt by it so much that he actually stayed down for a little bit. It was amazing. Like I said, they could fight forever. I'm totally fine with it.
When Finn was up there, you could tell when he jumped out there, he almost like jumping into water or a foam pit. I think he knew, like, the dude's gonna catch me.
I've got Joe.
I know I can do this.
Well, and that's what it comes down to.
And that's what that was.
It's total. They're two dudes who fought each other how many times within the last year.
Yeah.
So they,
Yeah, those two know what's up. So it was pretty amazing.
So then we find The Miz freaking out in the locker room. The Miz Garage is there, and Bo gives him a pep talk, and it's the best pep talk.
So right now, he is shitting himself because this man...
Yes, is
going we'll segue into a little bit of toy talk.
With his baby dump truck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I got a little razor here. So I was at Walmart. They had just put out a whole bunch of toys. Right now, actually, they're doing a weird thing. They're trying to get rid of their old stock of toys. Now, these are the old stock of toys because it's kind of the weird leftovers from old lines. The reason why you know this is because Adam Rose is in this group of figures. So, and also
now you have one of his rosebuds.
There's an elite, there's an elite Xavier Woods, which was actually kind of rare for a while there. There's the Triple H with the skull helmet and the crown, and there's like 2 or 3 others. Nothing really all that great, but Walmart's putting those out at I think $15 a piece. So you do end up getting a pretty decent figure.
An elite figure for $5.
But this one is not that. Oh, his little face just fell off. This is the new Braun Strowman. What is in here? We got that thing. Oh, that's because all of these come with like a bag. Is that the bottom of a garbage truck?
It looks
Diorama.
So, in just owning this, I believe it impregnated one of our other dump trucks and has given birth to this dump truck, which he will now be breastfeeding for the rest of time in the arcade. There's a good figure though. It's really a lot like the other one. You get the double knee, the better ankle, and then the midsection piece. And the hair is a little bit cooler.
I'm pretty sure Braun doesn't have a neck.
He's got a good sized beard, dude. That beard is rad as hell. So, but yeah, it's a pretty cool figure. It was one that I really wanted.
Angela's Elbow's own.
Does it have it? Oh snap!
Oh, it does have. Yeah, it does have Country Strong.
So yeah.
Always repping Angela's Elbow, North Carolina.
So from Janine's knee fat, South Carolina. Braun Strowman.
From Carol's Cankle, South Carolina.
So he comes with a stretcher, which is one thing I really actually wanted as like a kind of a cool prop.
Yeah. So anyways, so Miz is shitting himself because of that. Bo's giving him a pep talk, and it's great. And it reminded me of why I love Bo, and I'm like, God damn it, do more with him. Anyways, so then this part I had to go back and watch on an illegal stream. Thank you, Hulu. Asuka beats the piss out of another no-name.
Nice.
It's brutal.
Yeah, she wrecks her pretty hard.
And Foxy comes out and is like, I want you on my team. So that's another member to the women's team. So now it's Foxy, Nia, and Asuka. Pretty formidable 3. So then we get more backstage stuff. Kurt is there with Jason Jordan, and Kurt says, I need someone I can trust on this team. And I want you to be that person. I can't trust anyone more than my son. Which, okay, so that's great. You got someone young on there. You got someone you want to give the rub to. Awesome. I wish it wasn't Jason.
Maybe they give him the Ziggler spot, but actually follow through with it.
I wish it wasn't Jason Jordan. I love Jordan as a wrestler. I just don't think he's where they need him to be.
He had a good match with Elias there.
He has good matches.
He has a good match. Yeah, we'll be talking about that in a second. He does have a good match, but
he has good matches. I just don't think he's where, like I said, where they need him to be to carry this torch. I just don't think he's there.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
Anyways, so as you said, Elias and Jordan have a guitar pole.
Guitar on a pole match.
Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
That's right.
Once I actually heard on a pole, I couldn't hear what they originally said. Once I heard on a pole, I went, wait a minute. No, they can't be doing this.
Yeah. The woman Kurt Angle knocked up on a pole match. So guitar on a pole match, and Jordan won that. I didn't watch the match because Hulu didn't give it to me.
No, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good match.
I'm sure it was good. And again, Jordan's good in the ring. I don't know. And this also made me ask, is Roman still sick? What the hell's going on? But then they said, no, he's back next week. So it's like, why isn't he in the 5? Super weird. Well, anyways,
to confuse you.
It really seems that way. So then,
we're gonna see.
Yeah, exactly. So we get a tag team.
This is okay. This week on Raw and SmackDown, the monkeys must have been drinking Red Bull.
Yeah, because they were
taking Ritalin because they were like, all right. Phew, it was like bullseyes on everything people wanted.
Yep.
Jinder Mahal, not even got it. He didn't get nothing.
Yeah. Yep. So we get women's tag team, Sasha and Bayley versus Alicia and Nia. Alicia is still doing her captain routine, and I love it.
Just a crazy captain.
And it was a good match. They did the Nia. Bayley did the Nia tie-up things. The only way you take out Nia, and then they get her out of the ring, and Sasha gets the bank statement for the win. Alicia taps out super quick.
And how many times did Michael Cole say it's boss time?
I actually turned on the commentary because I can't take boss time anymore. It sends a shiver up my spine.
Something I actually wanted to say about that is that matching ring gear for Sasha and Bayley.
Yes.
That was actually pretty cool to see them doing a little bit of tag team stuff here and there and actually matching.
Manchester
cool.
still loves Bayley. Because they were doing
Everyone loves Bayley.
They were doing the Bayley "You Want to Be My Girl" thing, and the crowd was rocking so much so that the commentary team was like, crowd's really behind Bayley. It's like, yes, stop killing her.
They've always been.
So at one point, Foxy's got Bayley in a hold, and Bayley goes to the ropes, and the ref does the count, and Foxy turns and goes, "I know how to count." It was really good. It was decent. Like I said, match itself was decent, and because Banks taps Foxy out, she's like, "You're on the team." So he leaves the spot open. You know Bayley's going to be in that spot because they ain't giving that spot to Dana Brooke. She hasn't been on the TV, except for running away in heels. So
unless you really want to bury Bayley,
right? But here's the thing: I don't know why there's. What's the
payoff?
No, well, no. Again, yeah. What's the payoff? Yeah. What's the lead? What are you leading up to? I don't know. So then we get this Strowman Miz match, and Strowman comes out. Miz comes out with the Miztourage. They both try and do the three guys up on the ring at the same time, and Miz is trying to run away, and to no avail. Strowman destroys the
absolute
Miz and the Miztourage, and right after he destroys him, Kane shows up, and it's a monster war, and I fast forward.
So what's actually interesting right now with Kane for me is that I've been kind of needing things to play in the background that I don't need to pay attention to. So I went back to OSW reviews, episode 46 or so. It's the WrestleMania X7 lead up. So it starts with the Royal Rumble, goes to No Way Out, and so this lead up to like the greatest pay-per-view of all time.
Right.
And you're seeing Kane in such a different light. And I forget that this was 16 years ago. And just that number alone, 16, 17 years, is crazy.
Yeah.
That he's still wrestling. But he looked so much better back then.
Oh, dude, I love the Attitude Era Kane. Yeah.
Awesome.
He was one of my favorite wrestlers during the Attitude Era. Like, I absolutely loved him, dude. He had that. Dude, I loved his ring gear. He had the one. Everything was covered. He had the one arm, like out and everything.
And that was always the arm he used for the joke slam.
Yeah, dude. He was always so good, and now you see him, and he's got like this puffed up piece here, and all I could see is Glenn Jacobs' face underneath that mask.
At the end of the day, well, and again, that's the problem. They did too much of him outside of it, so now you know him.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he is the solidest of solid workers.
Absolutely.
He'll never let you down.
Never takes a bump either. Right. Even back then, Edge and Christian had a match with them, and they did a double leg sweep to him into a trash can, and he fully Kane bumps. This may be where the Kane bumps start.
More than likely.
He hits the trash can and crumples it under, so you don't notice it in the moment with the camera angle. But boy, you go back and watch it.
But so. He is super solid, and all of this is being done to build Braun up, except for the fact that why... I get it if this is Kane's last hurrah, which if it's his last hurrah, then more power to him, and the man more than deserves it. But if this is just another thing to build Braun up, why? You've already made him a monster.
To make Roman Reigns look better.
If you're right, I'm so sad.
Yeah,
well, it's sad, brother.
It's a shame because, like I said, I loved Kane when I was a teenager and everything like that. He was one of my favorite wrestlers. Like I said, I just some of the matches he had, especially the stuff the feud that he did with Undertaker.
Yeah,
those matches
were. That's just two big men who know how to move.
Yeah,
still and yeah.
I mean, just the fact that you could the stuff that the Undertaker did was stuff that big men weren't doing to begin with. It was unique. And to be able to find,
the rope.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and to find somebody else that could
also do those
that's
things. Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And as a company man, on top of everything, like, basically, I feel like what happened with Glenn Jacobs is that he was always looking to be the company man for somebody, and was willing to do Isaac Yankem and all these bullshit things. Diesel, he was fake Diesel. But I think once the Undertaker took a shine to him, he immediately saw like, oh shit, that's how that works.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that now, and it works. And he's been doing it since what, like 96, 97?
Again, more power to him. I would never take anything away from him.
No, absolutely not. No, Kane's the man.
Yeah, I still remember like some of the tag matches that he did with X-Pac when, those were awesome too.
Him teaming up with Daniel Bryan was awesome.
That was.
That's the thing. Like
he's
really always good. He's always solid. I'm just tired of him on my TV.
No, I told you, I don't want anybody on the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be allowed to have any screen time at this point.
Yeah.
If you are in the Attitude Era and you want to help out the company in any capacity, it should be in an
advisory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You should be scouting talent.
Yeah.
You should be helping people figure out their characters, like working moves, showing them the business is like
Hayes.
Yeah, exactly. You should not be out on the.
I agree with you. But what are you gonna do? We don't write the show. We just bitch about it.
I don't know. Maybe we could maybe we could sneak some monkeys into the WWF.
Special monkeys.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can't train monkeys. So then there's a pub backstage interview, and Seth and Dean with Renee, and Dean is just the best. I absolutely love Dean, and then Renee was such a nerd at the end because they do the two. Shield thing, and then she does it after they leave. And I was like, God damn it, Renee, stop being adorable. I'm so jealous of Dean. So, but it was good, and it's the pub. It's, and this what makes me think, like, what do they do with the Shield? Like, really? Anyways, so they Enzo comes out. And again, I had to watch this on a legal stream because it wasn't on the Hulu. They introduced him so badly, and it drives me nuts because I got what I wanted, and they didn't do it right, and it drives me insane.
When they played the music,
so
and Kurt Angle comes out, I go, wait, what the hell just happened?
So they play the music, and Pete Dunne, the name Pete Dunne comes across the screen, and the crowd erupts.
They went nuts.
They went insane, but then Kurt Angle comes out. And you're like, what the hell is coming on?
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, oh, they think this crowd's, or they think the rest of the crowd's not going to know them, which they probably don't. Except for the fact that the live crowd just fucking erupted.
Yeah,
so
they went nuts.
You have to assume, oh, this guy's someone. So Kurt Angle comes out and he's like, your current UK champion, Pete Dunne. And the thing that really annoyed me, and they had to have said something to him, no belt in the teeth.
Yeah. He usually comes out with the belt rolled up at the end and it like dangling out.
Yeah.
So one thing that I didn't like here is that it's just obviously they played this music first. Angle comes out. It should have been Angle coming out.
Exactly.
Angle could have said all the same dumb crap that he said originally, and then when he said Pete Dunne, the music starts. The music hits. Because that's how it goes.
Or even your current WWE UK champion, cue the music, and then he says Pete Dunne, and the crowd goes nuts.
Exactly. No, they did that as wrong as you could do something.
But Enzo...
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Enzo was running down the crowd beforehand. Callisto comes out, and he's sitting there by the thing
watching. His mask.
Which is super weird. Yeah, Callisto's ring gear is always on.
His mask was pretty sweet this time.
It's super weird that someone sits by the ringside now because the Raw commentary team isn't there, so they're just kind of sitting there. Yeah. It's kind of odd. But, So Enzo comes out and he's making fun of Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne punches him in the fucking face.
I'm watching this and I'm going, I hope Pete Dunne just wails him right in the mouth.
He gives him a fucking X-Plex on the outside, and Enzo took it so wrong. And it's like, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, if Neville was still your fucking Cruiserweight champion right now, imagine the match we would be getting. But no,
Pete Dunne versus Neville.
I gotta watch this turd get thrown around by Pete Dunne, and it's
this Fugazi.
I'll give him I'll give Enzo a little bit of credit here.
No,
he sold.
Yeah, he sold. Guess what? I'll tell you something later on that will make you revoke all of that credit. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So.
Yeah, no, you don't run down Pete Dunne, not in this arcade.
So he proceeds to get the shit kicked out of him, and then at one point he sees Kalisto on the outside and he starts arguing with Kalisto. And he turns around and once again Pete Dunne just jacks him right in the fucking mouth.
He's playing the role of, if I don't like what you're saying, I'm literally gonna pop you right in the mouth.
And then what it comes down to is you're taking someone who has very, not little wrestling, but rudimentary wrestling skill, and you're putting him up against someone who, on the internet, they compared him to a cross between Taz and Fit Finlay, and Fit Finlay said, no, he's better.
He's better than me.
And he's 23 years old. Like, this is a dude who's been fucking going around bingo halls and gyms for 7 years already, and you're putting him up against someone who got picked because he's a good mic. He shouldn't have the belt.
Monkeys throwing darts.
So, anyways, yeah.
Look, they were throwing the right darts this time.
Dunne gets the win, which if he didn't get the win...
Brutally
gets the win. Gives him the bitter end, and he kicks the
Enzo does a terrible job taking his finisher, by the way.
Enzo does a terrible job of taking most things.
That was pretty bad.
Anyways, so that happened, and it was fucking amazing, and I loved every second of it. And then we get a title match. And another thing I had to see on a legal stream, because Hulu cut it out. The Bar comes out, because they're in Manchester. The Bar comes out in Liverpool gear.
I saw that.
Liverpool jersey and shorts.
Yeah.
And the crowd just boos them mercilessly. It was awesome. Because they did it because they're in Manchester. And B, Sheamus is a Liverpool fan. And Cesaro just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So,
an Irish Liverpool fan.
He's also a Celtic fan. He has both patches on his jacket. So we get pub versus club versus bar, and it's amazing. Although
as most of their matches are.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, you have all the perfect ingredients for an amazing match.
I forgot about this during the Pete Dunne Enzo match. Corey Graves was yelling about Enzo because before Pete Dunne comes out, he's, Enzo's doing his usual shtick, and Corey is just like, shut up!
Oh my god.
Just shut up!
You are the worst!
And he's like, and now eventually, like, even Booker and Michael start, like, oh god. And Corey's like, thank you for finally seeing what I've seen.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. I generally enjoy Corey. I loved him during that part.
It's funny, like weren't you guys a fan of the Enzo and Cass deal?
I was a fan of Enzo.
Yes.
And
see, here's the thing. I understand why they did what they did with Enzo.
Yeah.
He's good on a mic, and he gets the normal crowd, into the mainstream crowd, into 205 Live, which is what you needed. And so I get it, but you've got them in. He doesn't need to be your champion anymore. And especially when you have in the reserves dudes who are super goddamn talented who aren't getting the shine.
Seems like the MO of the WWE.
And that's my biggest, and what do we complain about here week after week after week?
I don't complain. I love my champions. Alexa Bliss.
As long as I got 5 feet of fury.
That's right.
Champion,
exactly.
Jinder Mahal.
She's
never
my only.
Jinder Mahal.
Alexa Bliss is the champion of my heart. All right.
Again.
No, sir. She is the champion of the world.
That's true.
Of the Raw.
No, you gotta hold it behind your head like she dumbly does.
There you go. The champion of this arcade.
Awesome. Anyways, but this is the problem of being a Mark fan.
I'll eat a cookie to that.
This is the problem of being a Mark fan. You always want the dudes who are best in the ring to be your champions, and it's not always going to be the way, unfortunately.
I'm sorry. I just want to show proper respect to Alexa Bliss.
That's right.
We're right on top of there.
So getting back to what I was saying, because you guys are very obviously trying to annoy me.
Look, we can't help that Alexa Bliss is awesome. I mean,
she's the best.
That was the one good thing about the Hulu, the original Hulu version. I was able to watch. No Alexa Bliss. They cut her completely off. It was great. So we get Shield versus Pub. And it is an awesome match, as it always is.
We see finishers. Yeah. We see everything happening.
Yeah, we see a Doomsday device.
Yeah, they even go for the old school Doomsday device. So
after the Doomsday device, there's a bit of a schmaz, and then New Day's music hits.
Yeah, we just hear, oh, and it was like, whoa, hold on, what's going on?
And then, so of course, you know, the Raw, you see Kurt Angle, or New Day comes out of the crowd like the Shield does.
Yep, and they start, they're, you know, everyone's looking around.
They're standing up on the staircase, and you see Kurt Angle in the back, and he's rallying the troops, and he's getting everyone, and they all come a-running, and New Day is like, and we were here 2 weeks ago, and what did Raw do? Nothing, and they kept doing the nothing thing so much that my son started saying nothing. It was great.
So one thing Xavier Woods says, they did run away a little later in this bit. He goes, pump fake, and then he just turns around and runs away.
So it's basically they're just teasing them.
So yeah, they're putting the tease out there. Kofi gets his couple burns in. Everyone gets their burns in. But
right as Kofi says pump fake, and they start running away, and the Raw roster starts going up the stairs, Sheamus bro kicks Seth.
Just a brutal, like, I'm watching it and I'm going, wait a minute, this match isn't over. Nobody,
there was no bell.
No one's counting. Yep. I didn't hear a bell.
Sheamus bro kicks Seth, covers him, and they get the win. And the Bar are your tag team champions, which sets up New Day versus Shield at Survivor
Series. And that was exactly what I was thinking immediately, was that's what this is going to become, that's why they're not on the team. That's why Roman's coming back next week. That's why. So yeah, we're going to see 3-on-3. And look at Survivor Series. Do they threaten them to a cage? Is there something?
Prison, maybe?
More like
a Punjabi prison.
Yes.
That I would watch that Punjabi prison. Are you kidding me? That'd be so good.
Amazing.
Roman Reigns is gonna win.
How would we see anything? If
Roman Reigns lifts up the Punjabi prison to include it,
so that everyone can see.
Yep,
oh my god!
He does it with his hair.
Exactly. He does. He's amazing.
He goes like this.
He cocks his fist.
And
Punjabi person lifts.
Oh my god! And he would do like the say it thing, and his hair just goes straight.
He goes like this.
I see you've seen what I've seen.
Yeah, if that happens, Roman Reigns will be my champion. I will accept him.
If he goes saying,
yes,
so if he gets blonde hair,
he goes like this.
He doesn't even need the blonde hair, but if it just sticks straight up like that, yeah. Hold on. Or if he goes great ape, like he just turns into a huge monkey.
If he did that, he'd be my champion. Here's the thing, though, Krista, and I've got some bad news for you. Come WrestleMania, Roman Reigns is going to be your champion no matter what.
That's not bad news for me.
Yeah. Anyways.
Dude, Roman Reigns is awesome. I want him cocking every fist, his leg, I don't care what.
Chris, I just kind of found this photo here on Google, and
that's pretty sweet. Yeah,
it is. I don't know. It's Roman Reigns doing his kind of looks like a little power up.
I have to be a Roman Reigns fan from now on.
I think he might be trying to go say it right there in the ring.
I'm gonna have to go to the WWE.
He is now a Roman Reigns
fan. Because he helps me burn.
And a John Cena fan.
No, he helps me burn you.
But he's a John Cena fan.
I'm not a John Cena fan. No.
You know how I know you're a John Cena fan? You keep denying it.
I think this is the only time I've denied it. You know how I know you're a John Cena fan?
You did see this though, right?
Yes, but I don't like the New Day.
Well,
that's
you are.
Again, can we?
We've already explained. I've already explained to you why, and I know it's not true, but just because of the way that they are,
can we please kick them out?
I just can't. To me,
oh my god,
he helps me burn you too much. I'm sorry.
To me, the New Day will always be Uncle Tom's.
Gotcha. Because of that.
Yeah, just the way, dude. That ad. Have you seen the super?
I don't care.
Nice. That's. I gotta go to the WWE shop and see if I can find a Roman Reigns shirt. Oh there is an ad that we showed at work for the WWE Supercards. And the New Day was on it. I don't know if it was all of them or I think it was all three because they all talked to each other about the ad, and it was so over the top, borderline racist. I was like, I can't really? Support them. Yeah, like they were like, now what is a super card? And I was, dude, and
you're going Cosby.
That's what it was like.
But that's how they talk.
I just don't like that. I just don't like that character. I think to me, it's a negative stereotype to be like, I'm that happy-go-lucky black man that's got to bow down to Vince McMahon and the boss man.
Except for the fact that how they got to happy-go-lucky black man is they were handed that
again. I don't know that. I'm not a wrestling fan. I did not watch at the time, and to me that's what. And the New Day are awesome and everything like that. They're great wrestlers, but I will never be a fan of them because of the negative taste that they portrayed to me in that ad. That's it. Okay. I'm not trying to bring you guys down or bring
you.
Well, you hit the brakes.
Guess what, jackass? You took that exit already.
Do I have to leave? Now? Is that what it is?
You took the exit to Butter's Hill.
Way to suck.
So, anyways, let's move on.
I'm sorry. That's just my.
Now that we're all bummed down, let's move on to SmackDown. Raw overall was good. I really enjoyed it. I hate the fact that I had to watch the best parts of it on an illegal stream. That was super annoying. But I overall enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable product.
YouTube's going to ban us because of the amount of times Martin says
illegal stream.
So, SmackDown.
We can drink beer on YouTube, but we can't say illegal.
Exactly.
So, SmackDown, we start off with Shane. Comes out. And he's talking about how, he wants to make SmackDown the A show and all that other stuff. And then he brings out the New Day. And the New Day crow about invading Raw. Like, we did this because we were dumped onto SmackDown from Raw during the Superstar Shakeup. We felt unwanted, so we want to prove our worth to SmackDown. And that's why we keep doing these things. KO and Sammy come out, and they interrupt. And the best is... Sammy walks out like John Cleese in the Ministry of Civil War. It's awesome. And every week I'm just going to tell you, I love this. I am so happy about it. And then Sammy does an amazing Vince impression. It was spot on. And then we get Sammy versus Kofi.
Yeah, because they
Sammy Kofi. I mean, you couldn't ask for it.
Yeah, what's his name? Shane McMahon says, oh, you guys are entitled. You act like you're so entitled and blah blah. And since you feel you deserve all this, you deserve a match. Or whatever.
Right, and here's the thing. Shane's saying all these things, but what Sammy and Kofi or Sammy and KO are saying are right. They're right about everything.
My biggest problem with
being right always doesn't make you right.
My biggest problem with this kind of lead up to Survivor Series is that they're both, each brand is trying to make themselves seem like the other has got it all together. SmackDown's doing these matches, that whoever wins, they're vying for spots on the team, right? Whereas in Raw is Kurt Angle's just choosing who he wants on his team. And a few weeks ago, it was, SmackDown's, they're united, they're setting up these matches to get the best people on the team. And then this week it's, we need to have these matches because Raw is unified. They've already got their team set. We need to do, it's like, so which one is it?
It's one side selling propaganda about their side.
It's all, but that's what Survivor Series is always. Always is when it's brand versus brand. It's always that way. And like we said 2 weeks ago, I've relented to the fact that all other ongoing storylines are going to get shelved. It's just the way it is, which sucks. because you're not going to get the stuff that you want.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah. Yeah, we should. Yeah, I think we should get those in that definitely.
So, anyways, yeah.
Pretty fantastic.
So, anyways. So we get Sami versus Kofi, which was great.
The ending to that match was horrible, though.
Really bad.
The other problem is Kofi made fun of Sami for not going to the gym. And it's like, is that the most ironic statement ever? Like if Big E said that, you were like, yeah, no, I get it. You look massive. So it's a great match. Kofi does this crazy dive.
Like the flip off the ropes
flip
or
off the
whatever.
ropes.
Yeah, that was
it was
pretty
insane. Cool. We get a nice ska joke by Tom Phillips. Mm-hmm. Because Xavier starts taunting Sami with the trombone. Yeah. And Tom goes, "Oh, that's the first trombone that Sami's ever disliked." And Kofi does a dropkick to Sami where he
that was a
hits him in the face. It truly just both feet on the face. It also made me realize I want KO versus Big E. I want that match. That's gonna be that would be a damn good match. And then the Blue Thunder Bomb that Kofi takes.
Just out of nowhere, too.
Yeah. And you knew it was going to be an awesome match, and it was. But unfortunately, the ending was kind of weird. Kofi gets a win. KO comes in and beats up Kofi a bit. New Day come in, and Sami and KO scarper up the ramp, but there's no music or anything. It's kind of odd. So yeah. It was awesome match, but kind of odd.
So do we talk about that now, or do you want to wait till later?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
So,
quit jumping ahead.
Well, excuse me.
So then we get...
I'm just going to get more cookies.
So then we get Aiden English coming out, and he introduces Rusev, which is still going on, and I'm fine with that. It gives both of them something to do. And this is if Rusev wins, he's on the SmackDown team match.
This match is a big miss for me because I would have loved to have seen Rusev on the team. Rusev versus Strowman would have been fucking awesome in my opinion. That would have been a great match.
Rusev loses to Randy.
Yes.
He takes the RKO too well, and I've seen it on the internet, and I gotta agree. He's got Ziggler syndrome. He sells too well.
Too good.
So he's only just going to sell now.
Yep.
And it sucks.
So what happens, what happens if you have Ziggler versus Rusev?
It's going to be like that scene.
They both start selling.
Yeah, exactly.
They go to collar and elbow tie up and they explode off of each other.
It's going to be like that scene in Sergeant Bilko when he paid Steve Martin bribes the boxing match, right? So they're just dancing back and forth, and then finally, like out of sheer frustration of doing nothing for like 5 rounds, one of them punches the guy in like the chin, and they both fall down. That's what would happen.
I can't believe you just made a start.
Hell yeah, man! That's a great movie. Right. Fuck you. That's a great movie.
Right, so so Rusev loses to Randy.
It's a shame.
So now there's an open spot. Like, what the hell's going on?
What's going on with your voice?
There's an open spot. I had to burp it.
Full Henson on
so Rusev loses to Randy, and it was just annoying. I don't.
There's a spot.
And again, this goes. And Randy's not Attitude Era, but he's been on my team for too long. And I need a break from him. I really do.
I mean, have him make the Marine 4 or whatever.
No more Marines.
No. He was never a Marine because he was a deserter, and when they put him in the Marine series, the Marines objected.
They should make
real Marines were like,
now we're good.
They should make a deserter. The deserter. Yeah, there you go.
Where it's a play on words, and he's just a really good pastry chef.
That too, yeah.
Competitive food eater.
But
he's like ripped. So they're like, how does he do it?
No, he's just a really good pastry chef who wrestles at night.
I feel like that would be a great match, though. Rusev versus...
I would like to see that match, yeah.
Although, I don't know if it would play out very well, because even though Rusev is a beast, he's more of like a technical... wrestler.
But I think it would prove to, and we saw this last week in the Rusev versus Big E match. Rusev should really only be facing people who are his size. He doesn't do very well with people who are smaller than him. And I think with Strowman it will work.
Michelle Mejia in the live chat agrees with Krista on the New Day.
Hey, thank you.
Well,
she said truth.
Yeah.
I asked which truth. She said I asked the New Day. She said yep. So, yeah, you have backup. You have backup.
I might be the only person that does not like the New Day in the
Hey, they put on one a hell of a match.
No, and that's fine. Like I said, they're great. They're great wrestlers. I'm just not a fan of their characters. I'm an Uso guy, and I've been.
The Usos are awesome.
Yeah, and
I did not like them with the paint, but now that they are these Usos, the ish Usos.
Yeah.
So we move on to Becky versus Ellsworth, and it's a dumb sexist thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I keep expecting WWE
so
to give
in that,
me
I'm gonna go get cookies. Just fuck this match.
It was really dumb. And again, it's my fault for assuming they're gonna do subtlety because they can't.
Has
Then
Vince
at the
McMahon
end,
ever been subtle?
And then at the end, Becky beats Ellsworth, and then the rest of the women's division beats up on Ellsworth because he was doing the men are better than women thing. And then Carmella ultimately kicks the crap out of him, and it's like, it was an exercise in but why?
Yeah.
Where does this leave us?
What does this do for anyone?
Yeah. But, anyway, so then we get an announcement from Shane McMahon. There's a little backstage stuff. Charlotte versus Natty next week. So Natty's losing the title. Because I think what's happening here is they're finally realizing that Jinder versus Brock, that's not a selling match. And Natty versus Alexis, no one's watching that.
Alexa.
No, Alexis.
It's Alexa. So, pronounce your champion's name right.
She's not my champion. So, anyways,
I feel like that might be Martin's shirt. An Alexa Bliss base and just not my champion.
So we get
5 feet of not my champion.
Exactly. But here's the thing. I'm more excited for a Charlotte versus Alexis match than I would be for a Natty versus Alexa match.
It'll be good.
And Charlotte will get the win because you ain't having Flair job to Alexa.
I don't know.
And if you do have Flair job to Alexa, well, I'm glad we have an NJPW subscription now.
Yeah,
so we're watching a lot of that.
We just picked up a.
We'll talk more about that as to why.
Michelle says that I got the last name wrong, or I got the last name right. That most people butcher it. But Puerto Rican, so it's Mejia. What would he get? Mejia?
Oh no, you voted yourself. Our redneck viewers, no!
The Deep South knows.
Damn it, I told you to put the white tape on Recording Alive.
Where's your sweater, god damn it?
Yeah, you didn't put the sweater around the neck, will you?
Where's your ascot, you son of a bitch?
So I bit it, it's just like a wasp.
I told you to put on your fucking alligator polo.
I do wear Sperry's.
So. Nice.
We get Gable versus Benjamin for the Usos for the tag titles.
Now, is this a real injury or is it?
This made me question.
Yeah.
So Gable versus Benjamin is it's a quick match, and then they cheat to win.
Yeah.
Gable comes underneath the ring, under the ring, gives him a chop block, goes back underneath the ring, and I like. That's actually, I wrote that down. Like, is the tag match off now?
Yeah, where's this going?
Where does this go? Or is this just giving you a way to keep the Usos looking strong so that they still go into the match with the bar, but then they lose to the bar, and it's not, the fact, and that way you can get a quick match, because this card's getting huge.
It is.
So,
it's
especially
good.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I was not sure.
I think that's honestly what it's going to be. I think this match gets shifted to pre-show and it goes real quick.
I really hope not.
I hope not either, but I think that's what's happening. So then we get the match of the night, Jinder versus AJ, which we've already spoiled, but I have to say I didn't watch this until today. My spoiler jitsu was very strong this week. I did not know about any of it.
Wow.
And
a WWE blackout.
Yeah, exactly.
For a while.
Complete blackout. I wasn't on Instagram. I wasn't on. I stayed away from Squared Circle. Yeah. So although Squared Circle does a really good job about keeping their spoilers unspoiled. And it's a good match, and you find that, hey, Jinder's giving you a good match, and then you realize, oh, he's up against AJ Styles.
Yeah, because AJ Styles could put on a 6-star match with the boot.
Exactly.
We have said this before.
And put the boot over.
And he'll put the boot over, and the boot will win the title. And he'll go, well, the boot did beat AJ Styles. So
that boot put on a good match. The boot really, Jinder versus the boot was terrible. But
my biggest problem with this match is a problem that I've had with I guess wrestling as a whole for the past, I guess, few months I've started watching it. We've already had this conversation about
not enough oil.
Yes, exactly.
By the way, if I have to hear my wife complain about the oil-water usage of wrestlers one more time, it's a constant. From calling Bray Wyatt a trash man to referring to Jinder Mahal.
Douse some balsamic vinaigrette on these dudes.
She said Jinder Mahal looks like the dude from the Soul Glow commercial.
Nice. Soul Glow.
She's like, he's an Indian version of the Soul Glow man.
Every time I try to make an argument for wrestling, my wife gets me with one very simple thing. She goes, but why are they always wet? Damn it, I don't have an answer for that one. You win. I gotta go.
And you go, Pretty Little Liars, and you run away.
My biggest problem with this match, and I've had this complaint before, is the ref. I just would like some consistency. What does a man need to do to get disqualified? Because the Bollywood boys interfere. They pull him out of the ring. Yeah. How does that not?
So here's a little kayfabe. Explanation for that. This is a title match.
Yeah.
And this is the world title match. So leniency
is that what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I'm just like, dude,
exactly
why?
What it is.
Nonsense is gonna happen.
Yeah, nonsense is gonna happen. So you look out for it. You try and keep a clamp on it.
Yeah.
And on top of it, that crowd seriously might have rioted. If
Jinder Mahal walked out of there with the title, that wasn't gonna go well.
Like there was one point where I thought the crowd was gonna start throwing things, because it was right after that where they pulled Jinder out. And the ref didn't throw out.
The ref didn't throw out. Chased one of the Singh brothers down, and he
grabbed the ankles and everything.
He dove and he still kind of missed. So he went for like the shoestring tackle.
I earnestly think AJ fell. Like I honestly think like AJ slipped, and he's like, I gotta make this look good.
I'm going the other way with it.
He was like, I'm doing a Deion Sanders, like grab the ball.
Dude. I think he aimed for that. He was chasing him, and he dove.
If he did,
I think he knew he wasn't gonna get him because he was gonna get around the corner before.
Yeah.
So he dove, because when he grabbed the ankles, he didn't just grab and pull him. He grabbed and he pulled him, and then he twisted. Because when the Bollywood boy goes down, he goes down.
I would like to point out that AJ is from Georgia, so the man should know how to tackle.
He's got he's got like 5 kids too.
It was like a last gasp, like death, like.
And if it's true that was all a sell, then AJ is a better salesman than I
think that AJ Styles went home to his kids. I think he's got like a.
This is how you wrap. This is how you wrap up, boys.
For real, I think he gets home and he's like, "I'm going to show you how." Everyone sit down. This is what I was talking about just last week.
Say it with swing.
Yeah, but like explaining, like I explained this to you last week, and look, I just did it. That's what it looks like.
The best part about this match, though, was that I was getting ready to play my vampire game while this is going on, right? So I'm sitting there on the Discord channel, and we're kind of BSing around, getting ready for the scene to start, and we're talking about what happened, the week before, and everything's getting set up to do the game and everything like that. The storyteller is going through her whole spiel, and then the match ends, right? I was like, holy shit! Like right in the middle of her, like she's like, what? And I was like, oh, AJ Styles just beat Jinder Mahal for the title. And I was like, Martin is going to be so fucking happy. I was like, dude, happier than a pig in shit.
You want to know the thing that made me the happiest? It was a single forearm that did it.
Yeah.
He didn't. Obviously, you're not getting Jinder up. You're not getting Jinder up for a Styles class. Nope. He's just too big of a dude.
Calf crusher would make him look a little too weak.
He tried to do that,
but he can't submit to it. Yeah. That would really weaken Jinder to a bad level.
It was just funny.
He gets a calf crusher off on him. And and the thing I loved about it, and just proving how terrible Jinder is, he sells it for exactly 2.5 seconds, and then stops selling. He's like, "Oh no, my leg's fine." It's like you roided out idiot.
It was just my favorite too, because like we're setting up this like dark, gritty World of Darkness game, and then I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And then I was like, "Okay, you can continue." Like I composed myself. I was like,
"And I'm back into the world of dark."
I am Alistair.
Alistair
the third.
I'm Coach Ferratu.
My daddy owns a dealership and got me into this vampire business. And
the rest of our podcast is
you don't say. I'm a little worried about this.
This has devolved horribly. So we did get a NJPW subscription this week. Now, here's the thing. It's all in Japanese.
It is.
Absolutely everything.
I went to the
you hit translate and only like half of it translate, and you're like, maybe this is what I click on? Okay.
Yeah,
but end up on some weird Japanese game show where some dude gets slapped in the nuts because he can't say.
Somehow your phone turns into a camera for this show.
Am I complaining?
Yeah, those are pretty funny too.
So the Jinder era is over. All is well in the world.
I don't know. I mean, do you think he's going to get a rematch next week?
He gets a wee match.
A wee match?
He gets a wee match.
It's a midget wrestling match.
It's a wee match.
It's the wee Punjabi prison. It's a small version.
It's actually a bounce house.
It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
He gets a rematch automatically. I have to believe that this will stick. Because they're going to do AJ versus Brock. That's just a better match.
Who do you think wins the AJ
Brock
Brock
wins.
match?
Brock wins. And AJ sells like a goddamn monster. But I can't see them putting Jinder back on, putting the belt back on him.
No.
I don't see where they go with him other than...
This is, again, all made to look Roman Reigns look better. Again.
They don't need to do that. Roman Reigns is already the best.
Yeah, here's the thing.
According to Vince.
Yeah, here's the thing. No. Why is Kane going up against Braun? To make Braun look better. It's all about making people look better.
Look who Mr. Jumping on the Bobby T coattails there.
Well, it
when
really
have I
comes
ever disagreed with him about how much WWE loves
when Braun gets put over, then Brock destroys Braun, and then Roman destroys Brock.
Dude, that'd be an awesome tag.
And by the transitive
property, he's the UFC champion.
Exactly.
The UFC.
He's the UFC heavyweight champion, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is that good. He doesn't even.
Does
just one cock, and then the guy, the champion of UFC.
If he was in the ring in the octagon, the bell would ring or the buzzer would go off, and he would just go, and the other guy would just fall on the ground and start tapping.
What do you say? The guy would explode out of the octagon. The cage would just burst.
Shotgun blast in the chest. Oh shit!
Oh, dude, I love Roman Reigns. I don't care now, dude. This is all.
So,
fantastic.
Dude, I can't wait until you turn into like a fan of everything I hate.
Alexa Bliss, Roman Reigns.
I'm basically what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy a Roman Reigns shirt and an Alexa Bliss shirt, and then I'm gonna cut them in half and sew them.
That'd be pretty funny. But the problem is it would say 5 feet of Roman Reigns.
I have no problem with that.
5 feet of ramen noodle.
People are like, 5 feet of Roman Reigns? Are you talking about his colon? I don't understand what's happening here. Are you saying Roman Reigns is a prolapse colon?
Little Miss Reigns.
Yeah. There you go.
So Martin.
Conspicuous by his absence this week, but my birthday gift to myself was Mr. Shinuki Mononuki. Or otherwise known as Shinsuke Nakamura. I saw this pop when I was at Toys R Us, and I had to buy it. I don't generally go for pops, and especially the WWE pops, I'm not a fan.
Doesn't know how to stand one.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's clearly...
What?
Did you get hit in the head? What happened?
What?
You can't stand up a figure?
No. There we go.
Oh, there you go. He's standing on its feet. We gotta get Baby T down here. She can do it.
Anyways,
I just want to stand up.
The style.
He just turned into Charles Barkley.
I don't know. Just want to stand up.
And now he's Bobcat Goldthwait.
Hey, guys. Shinsuke Mananuki.
Oh shit! Oh, normally we'd be like, all right, let's cut this. We are fully live right now, laughing our asses off. Okay, there's no editing. We are sorry, everyone. So yes, Martin, you got a Shinsuke Mananuki.
Yeah, I got this pop because I think the reason it works, whereas it hasn't worked with other WWE ones I've seen, is he is so distinctive and
they got
I
style.
love the half head. They got the hands in and all that, so that was really cool.
Yeah, but it is definitely one of the better ones, and that's why I picked it up. Plus, I love Shinsuke.
Yeah, I grabbed a couple from this line. We grabbed the Chris Jericho, the Sasha, and the Bayley. Yeah, I didn't get the Sheik or the $1 Million Man.
I like the $1 Million Man one.
There's a green version of him, I think, also.
There's a miss though. They should have put his belt, his $1 Million belt.
I think the other one has it. The other version has it.
So, the other than this, there's been an insane week in wrestling news.
Yeah, so I was going to actually segue the Chris Jericho into the big piece of news this year and our NJPW.
Yeah, so
now we can actually, this kind of was the reason why we got this. Also, Martin last week was like, I swear to God, if this happens, I'm not watching WWE anymore. And I was like, well, we better get an NJPW account because... I didn't tell you, they sent me the email that says like, oh, thank you for joining. And
was it all in Japanese too?
100%. And when you do the translation, it's like perfect English.
Did they talk about your large American penis?
No, not at all. They told me it was small.
Wow.
Yeah.
They must have thought. Did you send them a picture in whiteface? Maybe that's why.
I did. It was yellow face.
Wow. That's too much, man. That's too far. You crossed the line.
Were you holding a LaChoy mixture?
First of all,
they would have never believed. You with that huge beard, and we all know.
Judge Ito had a pretty rad beard.
Judge Ito?
I'm gonna throw up some Japanese guys. I think Judge Ito had a pretty good beard there. Well, Japanese guys, if you've got beards, let's see some pictures, guys. We're gonna prove Chris are wrong.
Hey, let's talk about other stuff from the '90s, so our audience has no fucking clue what we're talking about.
I think I gotta go. It's time for me.
Judge Ito.
Time for me to hit the old dusty trail.
And NJPW had a pay-per-view or had a house show or what have you this weekend.
It's just one of their shows, yeah.
And Kenny Omega successfully defended his U.S. Title, and afterwards said, "I have no challengers. This is ridiculous. I want you to give me someone who I
want the broom.
Face."
I want the broom.
Yeah, give me a 9-year-old girl or a broom.
And then Chris Jericho comes onto the screen.
Yeah, it goes,
which is insane.
Yeah, the whole place goes dark, and then it's only the screen lights up. They do such a good job with those reveals. Truthfully, I did watch a video on YouTube of just kind of like the breakdown of how they shoot NJPW versus how they would shoot WWE. When somebody runs diagonally across the ring and hits somebody in a lower corner, they shoot that from the perspective of the guy laying down, so that you see the speed, the hit. So they kind of build a lot of their stuff off of in-ring drama versus out-of-ring drama, and you could really tell that when they do. Now, I feel like NJPW is tapping into what made Raw and Nitro great in the mid-late 90s during the war. They've distilled all of the good stuff and got rid of all of the bullshit and added their style to it. So NJPW, from what I've seen so far, is basically that really, really well told Attitude Era.
Yeah, without any of the bullshit that is being added by the fact that your top star is a drug addict.
Yeah, with zero politics.
Or in the other company's case, all of your top stars have creative control in your contracts.
That's exactly. This is what it could have been if they just ran it the way they should have ran it.
I mean, back in the day when Jericho was part of NJPW, I've heard I've heard interviews from him where he's said he's honed his storytelling craft from what he learned at NJPW. So
it's all done in ring, man. It's phenomenal.
So they've been going back and forth on Twitter for a little while now. And then, but still, this thing came out.
I love that he said, Jericho says about Omega, best wrestler in the world. You're not even the best wrestler in Winnipeg. Nice. It's like, oh, word.
So, so like you said, they've been going back and forth, but this comes out of complete out of left field. Now, this proves proves two things. One, Jericho is the best goddamn wrestler in the world. He just is. And two,
dad bod and all.
And two,
I wonder how it's gonna look when he gets over there. Ooh, boy.
Two, NJPW they're pulling everything off the shelf. They're doing everything they can, and they are coming loaded for bear because that Wrestle Kingdom card is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen. I mean, you can only have one product for so long before before someone who comes around that's going to do it better and maybe cheaper and just more hungrier and all that.
I've thought about this with some sports teams in the past and some even fighters in the past where you can kind of tell the champion they kind of get a little lazy in their ways.
Yeah.
The Patriots do it sometimes, and then you see a hungry team come up. Out of nowhere, the Browns come out and beat the Patriots, and you're like, how the hell did that just happen?
It's never happened.
Well, I forgot Martin can't separate himself from stories.
It's what you're talking about.
The point is that I think that what's happening is that in this case, the Patriots came to play a football game, and the Browns came to beat the Patriots.
Yeah. Right.
And right now, we've got WWE. They're here to play the game, and NJPW wants to take the title.
WWE is playing the status quo game.
Well,
they're keeping everything,
What you're talking about is called the disease of more. Anytime you win something, you want more of it. And so egos get inflated, and things get out of control, and you don't want to listen to this coach anymore.
Yeah.
So, and WWE's had it their way for a very, very long time now.
It's a part... I mean, that's the American way. I mean, look at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
They came in...
They had a chance to buy Netflix for $8 million. It's so dumb.
They came in and closed down all of the independent mom and pop video stores, so they were the only place in town. Then... because they were the only place in town, they felt that they could basically charge you whatever they wanted and institute whatever policies they wanted on renting and all that good stuff. Then someone came along and said, no, we're going to do it better, we're going to do it cheaper, and we can do it this way instead of that way.
They adapted, it was so late. It was so late in the game. Although I took full advantage of it for their gaming pass, but I was burning games. So I was able to get unlimited game rentals in a month for like $10. And I'd like, I will have all of your PlayStation 2 games, thank you.
It's just the way of the world, really.
The good news is, as wrestling fans, it's gravy for us.
Oh, this is amazing.
Finally, because
the internet blew this whole thing open and showed us that there's more, and really kind of showed us that. And I mean, God, YouTube's really only been around since I think it was like 2010 or something like that. They really started to show us like, oh, you like Sami Zayn? Here's every Sami Zayn match that's ever been when he was somebody else somewhere else in an armory somewhere. So we're getting that from everything.
The internet has its good and it has its bad, and this is one of the things that's good. That
hell, there's a really awesome. I had sent it to you, I believe, a video of. What was his name? God, now I just totally forgot. Japanese wrestler Shibata. Yeah. And it was like the story of Shibata, and he did this and he did that, and you go, they've been writing this for years.
Yeah, I've been starting to watch those just in anticipation, and there's a couple YouTube sites that do a really, really good job of giving you essentially a synopsis. And New Japan, the way they write their stuff, because they don't have a weekly show, they have to write. From house shows and occasional specials and pay-per-views, it is a completely different writing style. It takes a little getting used to, but because of that, they can go full bore with the story, with the long form story.
One thing that they mentioned in an OSW episode talking about NJPW and their belt, they were talking about Brock Lesnar in this case, saying that when Brock Lesnar won the belt, they really thought that he was going to be there for a while because NJPW doesn't just hand their belt around. And part of the reason is every winner is engraved into the belt. So you can't mess around with these garbage bookings. You got to make sure, like, it's great that Okada's been the champion for so long because that's one name for an extended period.
I mean, you don't want to make Jinder Mahal the champion.
You don't want to just throw it on a Jinder. No.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. You don't
let the product speak for itself.
You can't take chances. And they're also, Japanese companies tend to be very conservative.
Yeah.
They tend to watch the bottom line a lot more.
But I mean, it's working for them.
Yeah,
and they're breaking into the American market now. And
speaking of the person who took the belt from Brock Lesnar, Shinsuke Mononuke.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're what you're seeing here is the fruits of some very long labor, because NJPW during that Brock Lesnar era, they were close to folding. They were very close to dying.
It's interesting what's going on with Anthem now, or not Anthem, I guess Global Force or TNA, whatever they're calling themselves now, whatever. But
Impact Wrestling.
They just went and fully apologized to NJPW for how they treated Okada when he was here,
and basically saying, "Hey, can we work together when you guys come over? Come over to the U.S. We'll work with ROH
when they come to L.A. and take over everything."
Well, they're doing another show next year.
That's what I. Sorry, go ahead.
No, they're doing another show next year in Long Beach. They've already announced it. Whether they're going to do more, they haven't said.
Oh, it'll happen.
That's what really needs to happen is, and obviously it probably won't, because there's just so much. I guess too many hands in the jar is really the best analogy, but these smaller. I don't want smaller in terms of the WWE. I don't want to try to
impugn any.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I like NJPW from what I've saw, so it's no disrespect, but they should team up together and form some
US
kind of
distribution.
Yeah, exactly. Like do something where you can do like a ROH and versus NJPW.
Well, they do.
thing. Yeah,
ROH and NJPW work together a lot.
But like make one company with these two within these two.
Yeah.
And I think that would really challenge the WWE.
I think that's the future. That's what we're looking at.
And I think that's what WWE's afraid of right now. That's why they're trying to take whatever they can while the taking's good right now. Because eventually that's going to dry up.
So again, we had an awesome week. Some great things happened.
Yeah. Some not so great things happened. Did we talk? We didn't
even talk about the bad thing.
Not so great things happened.
So the bad thing.
It seems like every time we take 2 steps forwards, we fall 4 steps back. Every time the WWE goes over to Europe, something goes on.
It has not failed yet.
And this something is very. It could be a very, very bad thing. It could be something completely innocuous. But Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were sent home from the tour early. Days early. Like, they're not back in the States until the weekend. And they were sent home today. Or yesterday. So, it's not good.
It was because what their citing is that they had bad attitudes or they were hard to deal with backstage, and they more or less went into business for themselves. They were supposed to.
So as we noted in our SmackDown review, that their match Sami's match with Kofi ended very strangely. And it looks like,
so what was supposed to happen was after the match, they were supposed to, they being Sami and KO, were supposed to feed Kofi and the New Day. Meaning they would come in, take a quick beating, go out, try to come back in, making Kofi look like, and the New Day look like the ultimate faces that they've beat off. They beat the heel back.
Yes.
You're about to say beat off.
Beat off. Beat off the heel.
That you have to pay extra for. So,
they didn't do that.
Yes.
Instead, they went, we're gonna screw this crap. And that's like a huge no.
It's a huge no. You don't want to go against what creative is telling you.
Straight up against creative like that.
And here's the problem with this. You've already established that as characters, KO and Sami are going up against everything that you're giving them anyways. They're entitled. They don't want to listen to you. They think they know better than you. So by them doing that, not the going against creative, but by them, seeing Kofi and the New Day in the ring going, well, screw this. Why are we going to, bang our heads against the wall? Let's just go. It proves that, hey, they're smarter. They're the smart heels, which is what you've been pushing them as.
You've been building.
And why are you feeding New Day? This isn't Jason Jordan.
Yeah, they don't need it. They never need it.
They're the New Day. They walk out, and with the exception of Krizza and the other person, everyone goes wild.
I'm like, boo! I was saying boo words. I was saying boo words.
Krizza and Michelle Mejia just stone cold. Everyone's like, oh, and just.
So, but yeah, so it's unneat.
We have to go to a WWE event, and I'm just gonna make a boo sign when they come out.
Well, no, see, and then I'll stand next to you with one that's just RNS.
Stop making my sign say boo words.
Stop making my sign funny.
So,
I'm seriously displeased.
So, anyways, yeah, it's distressing if it is not innocuous because they are the best heels on SmackDown right now. There's no one better. They're the best heels in WWE right now. It's them and The Miz, and that's it.
Oh, The Miz is the best.
So I hope it's nothing.
Could this be part of the story too? Part of kayfabe?
That was initially the thought, and then all this other stuff started coming out.
Yeah, so the pieces fit together a little too well.
Right. The other issue is two people who recently left WWE were very close with both Sami and Kevin Owens, Neville and Jimmy Jacobs. So you gotta, and this is also, hey, the reason Jimmy Jacobs got fired was for taking a picture with the Bullet Club outside of a WWE event. Guess who showed up on the Young Bucks YouTube show?
Crap, that's
Kevin
right.
Owens, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles.
They were just walking around in the back.
Yeah. So,
well, some guys are so over they can do shit like that.
Right, AJ can do that. You gotta hope that again. But then we also get, then maybe we get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn showing up at Wrestle Kingdom.
With that.
No, we can't, because I have to ruin your day.
Uh-oh.
So I watched 205 Live. Now, they did a weird thing with 205 Live. They didn't want to bring...
go get some cookies?
Nah, you might. They didn't want to bring all the cruiserweights over, so they had all the UK guys come in, and they did a crossover episode. So you're thinking, awesome, I'm going to get some damn good wrestling. No. You got Enzo talking for, I want to say, 20 minutes. So long that my wife, who wasn't even paying attention, looks at me at one point and goes, he's talking for a real long time. And it's not like
talk, huh?
Yeah. So then he brings out because they didn't bring all the cruiserweights. He's looking for some new bodyguards. So he brings out some of the UK competitors, and they are
Nowhere Joseph Connors.
No, yes, he's one of them. The guy who looks like Finn Balor but squished. I forget his name.
Squished batter, gotcha.
Jordan Devlin, that was his name. The another Irish guy who I didn't know.
Devlin Jordan.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mark Andrews, Tyler Bate, and Nowhere Joseph Connor. So he's talking to all of them, and the heels are like, I'm on your team, and then the faces are like, no, I don't. He gets to Tyler Bate, and Tyler, he's making fun of Tyler Bate. He's like, what's your name again? And then, of course, the crowd's hating this because they're like, get to the goddamn matches.
Yeah, we want to see some of the matches with these awesome wrestlers.
Yeah, they start chanting boring, and anytime the crowd started chanting anything, Enzo would just dance like an idiot, and you're praying for a sniper. Yeah. Like, it's just... I don't want him dead. Just take his Achilles out.
His ham, just right in the hammy.
So, yeah, it was awful.
Dark.
So he gets
this guy,
so he gets to Tyler. He's talking to Tyler, and Tyler's doing the whole. He's like, "No, I don't
I just kind of realized. I looked over. I'm like, "Where's that bottle cap?" Martin jammed a razor into it. I think that's Exhibit A right there.
So he's talking to Tyler. He's like, "Tyler, I don't want to." And Tyler's like, "No, I'm not gonna be your lackey. I don't like you at all." So Enzo starts making fun of him, and Tyler does the bop bang thing to him and cracks him. He wrecks him. So then, they set up a match later on. So then there's a match, and it's a good match. It was Mark Andrews, Cedric Alexander versus Nowhere James Conner and another guy. It was a decent match. And then the match of the main event is Enzo versus Tyler Bate, and it's it's like Tyler's doing his damnedest to sell for Enzo's terrible offense.
Oh God, his three things.
Yeah, it's just awful. And you're just watching it, and you're like, I could be watching Tyler Bate versus Neville right now, but no, I'm having to watch this crap. And then Enzo wins, and you're like, you just
why?
You just killed.
But why?
Like, it was, and again, your mainstream audience isn't watching 205 Live, so why do you have to push Enzo?
Well, I was just thinking it would be actually pretty great to have those two appear on the same thing on 205. Right. That would make sense, because you could do some crossover. A match that should happen at the Survivor Series as an opener match would be probably Enzo versus Dunn.
Yeah.
Except
again. You're getting Dunn versus Gargano at War Games.
Take that. Okay, I'll take that. We're good.
It's not being televised.
Ew.
Yeah. And then to finally ruin your day, they announced the 5th member of Team SmackDown, and it's John Cena.
Because why?
I know you're a John Cena fan.
Because I just did the
exactly. You
so anyways,
Cena fan.
like, I don't understand. Like, why don't you put Rusev on the team? Why don't you put Ty Dillinger on the team? Why don't you put Fandango on the team? Just something.
Just stop. We've been 5Alive. I'm Bobby T.
I'm Martin.
And I'm Chrisa.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let us know how you feel in the comments below or at 5Alive VP on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We also do have a Patreon, 5Alive VP. It's all sorts of stuff that just a couple ducats help us keep the lights going. And Bobby T's doing.
I'm doing the technical difficulties phase.
Oh yay!
It's weird. Oh well, we're done anyway.
Sweet.
So.
No like sharing and subscribing.
No, that sucks.
I just said very.